industry. Our first panelist is Dr. Abinash Samal. He's a visionary entrepreneur and the force behind Emporio Group, steering its expansion across infrastructure, healthcare, and a wide range of automobile brands, including Jaguar Land Rover and MG Motors. With a deep commitment to social impact, he champions education, skill development, and environmental sustainability, creating thousands of jobs while transforming Odisha's business landscape. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Samal. Our next panelist is Dr. Padmini Panigrahi, a dynamic social leader and TEDx speaker. Dr. Padmini Panigrahi blends business acumen with artistry. As director of Koshala Group, she promotes women-led ventures and rural upliftment while also leading Gold's Gym and Cult Fit. Through her NGOs, she empowers youth, supports grassroots art, and advocates for social justice and well-being across Odisha. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for her? Our next panelist is the State Chairperson of FADA Odisha, Mr. Akhil Poddar. He plays a pivotal role in shaping the future of state's automobile industry. With a strategic insight and commitment to industry advancement, he bridges manufacturers, dealers, and policymakers, driving growth and sustainability in the automotive sector. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge hand for him. Thank you. Next, a name very well known to all of you, a face pretty familiar with all of you. She's none other than Ms. Preeti Pallavi Patnaik, the CEO and Managing Director of Tushi Motors, a trailblazer in the automotive sector and a passionate advocate for community development. From leading award-winning Maruti Suzuki dealerships to promoting Koraput's premium coffee and introducing Odisha's first Pilates studio, she's redefining leadership with innovation, inclusivity, and a deep focus on women empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Patnaik, for you, requesting all of you to please give her a huge round of applause. Our next panelist is Mr. Shaunak, Parikh, Director of Utkal Automobiles. He has transformed the company into a statewide automotive powerhouse. Representing brands like Hyundai and Mahindra, he has expanded operations to 22 locations, creating over 1,500 jobs. Recognized with numerous national awards, he continues to lead with a people-first approach and commitment to service excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear once again for Mr. Parikh on the stage with us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our last panelist, Mr. Sunil Taneja. Mr. Taneja, the Managing Director of Esprit, Toyota, and Trishul Tread Private Limited, brings over 3 decades of leadership in automobile and heavy equipment distribution. A chartered accountant by training, he has built a diversified business empire across Odisha. With strong footprints in mining, construction, and automotive retail, we have Mr. Taneja with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the one who to steer the entire panel is our fabulous moderator, Mr. Rajan Gugnani. He's the director of Gugnani Motors, a seasoned business leader in Odisha's automotive industry. With deep insights and a collaborative leadership style, he brings valuable industry expertise and will be steering today's discussion with a trademark clarity and poise, welcoming our moderator on the stage. With this, I'd like to request our co-convener, Suma Devi Dash, and our convener herself, who's a panelist today, to kindly felicitate the other panelists on the stage. Well, we always begin with felicitating our panelists because what they bring onto the table is absolutely priceless. Their years of experience, their expertise, and that is exactly why we all have gathered here today, to make sure that we take home something very amazing. Well, taaliyan basti rehni chahiye, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, these stalwarts bring in a very different kind of experience, expertise, insight, everything combined. And this panel is going to be a very, very, very interesting one. Can we also have the cordless microphones for the panelists on the tables, please? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now requesting Mr. Rajan to please take this wonderful panel forward. Thank you. Check, check.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. All the people present here, panelists, and the co-convener. We are taking ahead about the automobile industry. The automobile industry is a major global sector involved in design, production, and sales of vehicles, playing a very vital role in economic development and employment also. So, without automobile, nothing moves on. So I'll start a few interaction on evolution of Indian automobile industry. And my first question goes to Akhil Poddar. Akhil, over the past decade, what would you say have been the biggest shift you have witnessed in customer preferences, both for two-wheelers and four-wheelers as well?
Thank you, Rajan bhai. See, if you look at automobile industry for the last 10 years, it has evolved, you can say a 360-degree approach. If you talk of 10 years back, you used to talk of mileage and metal. Today it's different. It is style. Today it is technology. Today it is affordability. Today it is more of usage and comfort. In two-wheelers, it's moving towards electrification. It's moving towards style. It's moving towards technology. Now even most of the two-wheelers have vehicles with TFT or with a navigation facility. So you now need these things as basics. Whereas in four-wheelers, the wave of moving towards SUV is unstoppable. 10 years back, we used to look at sedans. Today, we look at SUVs. We look at more usability kind of features, more style statements. Today, you just don't want to use a vehicle for going from one place to another. You want a vehicle which shows your style, which maybe it is a 10 lakh vehicle, but still you need everything in place. So the automobile industry is evolving very, very fast, and if you look at in the next 2-3 years, these things will be still faster. Today, every vehicle, the basics is a car, a TFT screen is a basic, which used to be a luxury 10 years back, or maybe only in the most premium vehicles. So things have become very, very affordable, and people are accepting it. Now today, you don't compromise. You want everything, even at any price point. This is what's happening in automobile now.
Well said, Akhil. In fact, just we were talking a minute before. He said earlier, the automobile was just metal and mileage. It was a steel body and people were looking mileage kitna deti hai. But things have really changed. Well said, Akhil. Thank you. My next question goes to Shaunak. Shaunak, how have traditional ICE models held up against growing push towards sustainability and innovation?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. So traditional ICE engines are also evolving as the auto industry is also evolving at a fast pace. So we've got a lot of pressure for showing higher fuel efficiency because there's a lot of pressure on sustainability, on the environment. So ICE engines are also evolving in that sense. We are producing more fuel efficient cars. Then there's also exploration of alternative fuels. So now you have the hybrid technology. But EVs, if you see, are evolving or are being introduced only because there's a massive government push towards sustainability. But coming back to ICE engines, I'll tell you how they've advanced in the last couple of years. So if you see a traditional BS4 engine versus the current BS6 engine, so BS6 is also a lot more fuel efficient, number one. Number two, like I said before, sustainable, so it's polluting the environment much lesser. If I give you a stat, then diesel engines are emitting 65% lesser nitrogen oxide, as well as petrol engines, the emission is by 25%, has dropped by 25%. So you can
That's
see there's a
amazing.
major shift from what a BS4 engine used to be and now what a BS6 engine is. Um, so this is only going to keep evolving because there's a great focus on environment, and ICE engines are here to stay. So, but at a sustainable regard.
Excellent, excellent. Would you like to say something more?
No,
Will-
that's it.
no. Wonderful. You explained very right about the, 65% about the pollution levels and the emissions. It is great to know because we are living in this earth and we have to take care of it also. It's just not we go into, like you see in the Delhi, the pollution's level are high. We have, yes.
Hold the mic actually close to you, sir.
Yeah. So we have with us Sunil Taneja. He's a stalwart in the auto industry. I would just like to guide us on, the Indian automobile has changed a lot and a strong comeback after the COVID. Sales have picked up, the supply chain has improved. What does he think about the future challenges coming with this growth and will be able to sustain and all?
Thank you very much. So here I would like to give you some statistics because statistics tells us the real picture. The Indian car market, I'm talking about passenger vehicles because that's my forte. I don't know about commercial and I don't know much about two-wheelers. We sold 4.3 million cars. That's 43 lakh cars last year. That's financial year just ended. We are the third largest car market in the world after US and China. Which is, if you go back historically, we were not even 1 million cars when I started my first Toyota dealership 15, 20 years back. We were a very small, less than 10 lakh cars. Today we are 40 lakhs. So India market has grown dramatically over that. And very interestingly, which are the biggest brands in India? Obviously, we know Maruti is the biggest brand. Yes? They sold 17 lakhs out of the 43 lakhs. The number 2 brand, Shaunak, you handle that, is Hyundai, which is about 600 odd thousand cars, 6 lakh. Then Mahindra and Tata come in at about 500,000. And then surprisingly, Toyota came up last year to 335,000 cars. But interestingly, if you add the number 2 to number 4, that means if you add Hyundai, Mahindra and Tata, they add up to what Maruti is selling. So two important things are here, that though we have global brands, our Indian brands have excelled very well in this market. Now this is something which is very interesting. Now one can say that how come the Indian brands have grown against all the foreign brands? And everybody is here, almost. It is not because of EV. You'll be surprised that last year, the total number of electric vehicles that were sold in India was about 1 lakh. Out of the 43 lakhs, this is published data. I'm just bending on data that I collected in the public domain. So 1 lakh out of 43 lakhs is the electric market. And very interestingly, the Indian brands have been able to stand up against the global giants. They may have a head start or whatever you might say, but there are technology limitations that they have. So coming back to your question, Rajan, we had a very big spike after COVID. But after that, the growth of our automobile industry has stabilized. We grew about 4% last year because our base was very high. This year, CM is expecting a growth of between 1 to 4%. It's the first month that just ended. So we are not expecting a spectacular growth this year. And then there are a lot of headwinds that we are facing, everybody is facing in terms of the tariffs and the restrictions and countervailing duties. So there could be some challenges for our components and for technology. There is a challenge for our components coming out of China and brands working out of China. So these are some constraints, but by and large, as the rate of growth is not that spectacular, I don't see any major disruption in the supply part of it. The challenge obviously is the demand in the market, which is not expected to be huge. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Sunil Bhai said very importantly, India being the third largest market in the world. And I would like to just put in a small thing here for everybody aware. US sells around 10 lakh cars every month. Every month on month they sell 10 lakh cars. And it's similar to India selling two-wheelers. And the car market today we are at 340 to 4 lakhs we are trying. So there's a huge potential ahead where there will be easy finances and there will be EMIs and the portfolio is improving, Indians per capita is improving. So we look at a steady growth ahead. That's it. And further to take it ahead, I would like to ask a question about the EV support to Padmini ji, my neighbor. Is the current infrastructure, charging station service networks growing fast enough to truly support a mass EV movement?
Good evening, everyone. So, at present, it's a big challenge for the EV buyers because of the infrastructure. If you see in semi-urban areas and particularly on highways, the stations are not available. So when you see what happened when the customer is buying EV, the traveling time also increases as compared to previous with fuels. So customer want the charging station, they want to travel long distances because of the cost effectiveness of the EV vehicle. So government should take initiative to improve and support the manufacturers as well as the customers to develop the charging stations, which is very cost effective, and so that the economies of scale can be maintained, and the government should focus on mass production also for the battery to run the EV successfully. Thank you.
Thank you, Padmini-san. There's a lot more happening on EV and the petrol pumps are putting the EV charging stations. There's a lot of technology upliftment happening with the Mahindra and Tatas, and the future Tesla is also coming. They will have all on the list with the Google Maps ki how much charge you need and where is the next charging station locator.
Yeah.
This is the future which is going happening, and we would request the Odisha government also to help to involve the maximum EV charging stations in the mall.
And they should focus on the grid capacity and standardization also.
Yeah. Thank you so much. My next question is to a wonderful lady and convener of the INWEC. She's such a wonderful woman entrepreneur, and it's question to women entrepreneurs are increasingly making their mark across various industries, including the traditionally male-dominated automobile sector. How do you take it ahead, see ahead, and what are the challenges women facing, as not only as an entrepreneur, as the women working in the organizations also? So give us a brief about your experience.
Thank you so much. First, I think that the traditional norms of segregating qualities to leadership positions should be changed. You know, leadership should not see gender, leadership should not see profile, leadership should not see sectors. You should first identify the qualities of and the skill set of an individual and then talk about industries. The very fact that today in a women's business Mela, we are having an automobile panel screams and says that this is the new dawn. And
Cheers, kudos.
And if you ask me what are the shortcomings, for me, I learnt it from scratch because I had no automobile background. I am a marketing, sales and marketing person. And I knew that everybody I was hiring in my organization came with 15-year, 20-year experience and they would take me for a ride very easily. So I learnt everything. So if you ask me in my organization where the dustbin has to be kept, I will tell you. If you ask me any technicality of an engine, I will tell you. So I learnt it the hard way just to know what are the right questions to be asked in the boardroom. So it hasn't come easy to me. It is a fact that women do face a lot of discrimination, easier said than done, also because the main bread earner today also is a male member. But saying so, here we are giving a platform for entrepreneurship, but as a government, and also private sectors, we should be giving them literacy in terms of educating them in skill sets, which is the non-conventional skill set for different sectors, say in a real estate or automobile. Also a major problem that I see with women entrepreneurs in automobile is access to capital funding and business networking. So if we could have some kind of platform where women are supported, we do have, but something which is which concentrates on women and educating them for leadership positions in automobile and motivating them, I think would be something, a great start. Other than this, I think we've already started and we're taking up mainstream spaces in every sector, if you see, as women, and hand-holding and encouraging from the top management to encourage more women to come and join and make the work environment more appealing to them would also be a factor which will help motivate them and make them feel belong to the sector. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. We can have a round of applause for her. Great. So I will take it ahead. Next question to Abinash. He's a multifaceted dealer with Tatas and other Jaguar also. As an experienced dealer, how are you preparing your business for a future where EVs might dominate? Are you already making specific investments, Abinash?
First of all, when we are talking about future, let us have little bit of, focus on your past and then the present. While in the yesteryears, we were connected with the cars. I'm sure Uncle is here, Akhilji is here, so they were very much connected to the cars. Probably they'll know the exact mechanics. Also, they will know the exact garage owner, and they will not allow a single dent in the vehicles they owned. So the car were more like the spouses. And when we are talking about the millennials and the Gen Zs, the vehicles are more connected cars. That point of time, they were connected with the cars, but now we want a connected cars. So that is the difference that has happened in the last 50 years. So what else has been changed? You see, the manufacturer also behave in what way the consumers are behaving. The consumer wanted a more reliable car at that point of time. Today, the consumer want a car that will have a shelf life of max 3 to 5 years of time. And then it should be glittery inside. And on top of that, as I said, the Gen Zs want the GPS inside it, location tracking device for obvious reasons. And then you have the CCTV surveillance, the back cameras, at least 10 cameras, inside, out. So that is how the cars have changed. It's all glittery, the interiors are good looking. And then you have, your taste gets changed. Like you own your smartphone, your taste gets changed every 2 years or every 1 year. So this generation is little impatient. So we build a car like that. And if you see, even the manufacturer are giving the names of the vehicles according to that. 50 years back, there was this car named as Premier Padmini, all royalty. Today you see the car name, Shaunak is here, B60. And we have Tata Curve, So that is what has changed in the last 50 years.
Excellent, excellent, Abinash. How is
So
what-
to answer your question, I was coming to that. So I put all this point. So in order to be EV readiness, so we have to also behave like millennials and Gen Zs, like a startup culture. The timing will also not be like the traditional timing of 10 o'clock in the morning and you close your showrooms at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the evening. Not like that. There are two shifts we are doing. Probably one which will be starting at 9:30, and there will be one more team which will be starting the operation in the afternoon, and they'll finish up their job late evening. So those are some changes that are happening, and that are happening, quite in aggressive manner. So a lot of changes are happening, and specifically the age bar that our product specialists are happening, that is not more than 25-year-old. So these are few changes that we are seeing in our dealership.
Excellent,
That is it.
excellent, Abinash. Well
Thank you.
explained. The EV charging stations, I would like to say, are so well equipped. We have installed in our showrooms and other locations in CRP also. It is like a plug and pay, like the international standards are happening. You just plug in your car, start your charging, and you pay by your card. It's become so simple. It's the same as the abroad, same as in Odisha, same as in Bhubaneswar. Again, I'll take a next question to Shaunak. Again, it's on the EV. Government policies like FAME and PLI schemes have introduced. In your experience, are they genuinely helping boost EV adoption at the ground level? I'm talking about the subsidies and all government are given, like
Yeah.
especially the Odisha government. They're
correct,
giving a 1.5 lakh subsidy in every EV registered, which is the best EV policy in the country.
Correct. So, as I had mentioned earlier also, that EV adoption is, the acceleration that we see in EV adoption today is also due to such government subsidies. So, FAME and PLI are both working excellent. I think both are working, have significantly accelerated the EV adoption in India. The FAME 2 scheme last year had a budget of about 7,000 crores. That was the national budget. And in 2025, government is given a budget of 11,500 CR. So you can see there's a massive jump in how the government perceives EV adoption to be. So they are extremely focused. And same for PLI as well. I think the previous budget was, around 3,000 crores. Now it's at 6,000 crores. So such schemes are definitely working, and they're working in the favor of EV adoption. I think without such schemes, consumers are probably not going to, shift from ICE to EV.
So do you mean to say all the people present here next week are coming and buying down an EV cars from us and getting the subsidy from the government?
I think, for the common user, for the common man, like for a two-wheeler consumer, these EV subsidies make a lot of sense. And that's why we see so many new manufacturers coming in and making EVs. So Ola Electric being the recent one. And even if you look at numbers, then in 2023, there was an EV registration of 15 lakh. 15 lakh was the number of EV that was registered nationally. And last year, that jumped to 19 lakh vehicles. So it's working. I'm sure both the schemes are working.
Absolutely. The state government has a wonderful policy. I'll just say, if you buy a car between 8 to 12 lakhs, generally you pay a 10% down payment, which is a lakh 20 or a lakh 50. You buy a car now with the Odisha state government EVC policy, you get your down payment back within 12 days. It is so simple and easy.
Yes, correct.
So, excellent, Shaunak. My next question is to our dear Sunil Bhai. There's a global giant entering India, and Mr. Trump is making all the news and everybody is aware. I'm talking about the Tesla entering the India market. So what do you see, how do you guide us, and what would you like to tell us, Sunil Bhai, about it?
a global giant. So let me share you something I read today morning. And please check up your news feed. It says that Mr. Elon Musk is a very worried man. His market share in America has come down from 75% to some 40 odd percent. And he has some very serious concerns about his future. So, Rajan bhai, there's no giant, okay? We must also understand that India is not, unlike Tesla, which had a first mover advantage in the US market, and they got a 75% market share. In India, we have our homegrown brands, Mahindras and Tatas and BYDs and MG, whatever limitation they have, they're already in the market. And it could be very interesting for Tesla to come in and expect a huge market in spite of the way the government is supporting them. So I don't think we need to worry about that. One word of caution is that the government is pushing for EV does not mean that we have to be pushed also. As a customer, as a consumer, we have to evaluate our own options. Because if you see globally, there is a leveling of the EV sales across the world, even in China, even in Europe, even in the US. So there are concerns about the charging technology, the charging rates, the charging infrastructure, and the battery range and battery life and climate conditions. So one should not jump into it unless too fast, and we should take it cautiously. And nothing to get worried about Tesla, because India is a market of its own and our customers are very smart. They will know which is the best deal, and I wish all of them the best.
Thank you. No, there's a continuous news that because Tesla is coming, the import duty will come down to 10%. And how does it look?
Yeah, but that's a level playing field for all. So why should one worry, And as Indian customers have experienced Indian brands and a few Chinese brands, so there's nothing spectacular. It's like maybe top of the line image, but that market is minuscule. And remember, we are 100,000 cars a year. So even if we go on a dramatic increase of doubling, tripling, we are still nothing as compared to our overall size. And India is a huge country, so I don't think we should be too worried.
Thank you, Sunil bhai.
And my fellow dealers, don't lose sleep. We will give Tesla a run for the money.
Yeah. My last question goes to Abinash. Just give us a 1-minute rundown on the current scrapping policy, as you have one of the scrappage industry. So just guide the people around about the scrappage.
So, speaking about the registered scrapping facility that we have, government has been pushing a lot regarding all the subsidy that government is giving towards the customer, the manufacturer, and then the dealer. So, putting light on to what kind of subsidy they are giving, at least in Odisha, we have 25% of subsidy on the registration cost. And for giving one example of one OEM, that is Tata Motors, and in a heavy commercial vehicle, it is giving 3% of subsidy in one vehicle. Probably in a vehicle that is having an ex-showroom of 65 lakh rupees, so 3% is huge. And then on top of that, whatever iron or whatever scrap that is getting generated in India, we are exporting at least 40% from outside, which is roughly around 10 to 11 metric ton that we are importing from outside of the country. So imagine the amount of GDP that is getting exhausted because of our old vehicles. We as an Indians, I know we are sentimentally and emotionally, we like to hoard our things. So it is high time that we have awareness towards the environment, and whatever vehicles are there in our environment, let us, there will be nearly about 80 lakh vehicles that are waiting to be scrapped. All we dealers have to do is take the benefit of the subsidy, pass on to our customers, and at the same time, save India at least 40% from the import that we are doing from outside, from any of the developed country. So that is my suggestion. which is a win-win
Thank you,
situation for
Abinash.
the
Thank you so
manufacturer
much.
and
Thank you
as well
so
as
much.
the dealers.
I would like to thank all the panelists and confirm we have a very good, strong people in the automobile industry, those who are taking care, and it is in good hands, and the automobile industry is going to rock, and we are going to do great ahead. I would like to thank the the main convener, Preeti, and everybody here in the panelists and all of the people who are present here. Thank you so much. Have a great automobile journey ahead. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Can you have a huge round of applause for our moderator, Mr. Rajan, and all our panelists? Thank you so much for sharing your insights. Can you please have the camera person in the front for a group picture, please? Requesting the panelists to please step forward for a group photograph. Thanking our panelists and our moderator once again. Thank you so much for being a part of this panel and bringing so much light and so much insight to today's audience here. With this, can we please play the glimpses of day one into a little louder for all of us to have a look at?